Hello, everyone. My name is Robin, and welcome to my channel, The Prophetic Engineer, where we talk about how to know and live by God's design for your life. So, today I want to talk about one word prophecies. Have you gotten a one word prophecy and didn't know what to do with it? So, last year I saw where a couple people posted on Facebook on how they asked the Lord for a word for the year and how the Lord really showed himself through that word throughout the year and how they saw the Lord just like do great things through that word. And I have done this before at the beginning of this year, asking the Lord for a word for the year. Actually, this time I got three words. And also, sometimes you may get a one word prophecy from someone. And in my old church, we actually had a prophetic night. One night, the team captain felt as though everyone should get a word. Usually, they kind of, whoever the Lord's highlights, they would prophesy over. And so the team prophesied one, two, or maybe three words to each person that was there. During that time, they were recording the words on CDs. So I still listen to that word every now and then. And it still speaks to me today. And so, what do you do when you get one word prophecies? So, the first step is to judge the word. I actually am going to post a video next week on this topic, like a short summary video on how to judge your words. We did do a video, me and Stephanie Johnson, called What Do You Do With Your Words? That is a little bit longer and goes much more in detail. So definitely check that out. And I'll put the link in the description. But I'm also going to post one that's like a shorter version on how you judge your words. So kind of like a quick go-to for judging your words. Once you judge the word and you judge it to be from God, the next step is to write it down. I'm very big on writing whatever God tells you, writing the word down so that you can always go back to it. So if I think about the words that God gave me this year, the three words, I actually typed them out in the notes section of my phone. So I didn't write it down, but I typed it out so that I can always go back to it and I can write notes in it and I can write whatever the Lord is telling me, type that out in the notes section. So once you've written the word down, the next step, which is the third step, is to seek wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Scripture tells us to seek wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. So, how do we do that? First, we ask the Lord for wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of that word. In addition to asking the Lord, you want to take actions by actually looking up the definition of the word, right? Getting a better knowledge and understanding of that word by getting its definition. So, I know sometimes we get words and we're like, oh, I know the definition of that word, and we don't even think to look it up. However, I do believe the Lord speaks through even the smallest of steps of the process, and He'll speak through that to give you greater revelation and greater understanding. I'm going to use an example of a word that we got as a corporate word in 2017, and the word we got was acceleration. And sometimes you'll hear this word in general as a word to the body, but it was acceleration. And so when you think about acceleration, you think things are moving fast, it's going to be quick. And when you go and look up the definition of acceleration, the Oxford Language Dictionary says it is an increase in the rate of speed of something. Okay, so my initial thought is correct. However, it also has a physics definition, and the physics definition is the rate of change of velocity per unit of time. And so again, that's just mean things moving. The velocity is going to be changing over time, means it's going to be speeding up and moving fast. But one thing I also want to note here is when we look at velocity, if we remember from physics, velocity is also a vector, which means it's directional. So not only does it has a magnitude, it also has a direction. And so when we're looking at the definition of acceleration, it's not only the change in speed, it can also be a change in direction over time. Now you're not just looking at, oh, God saying things are going to move fast. He could also be saying, yes, they're going to move fast. And you're also going to see a change in direction. So it's very important that we look up definitions. And this physics is very important because if we look at Jeremiah 33:25, God talks about the laws of the heavens and the earth. And the laws of earth is basically what we know today as physics. And so if God is the creator of these laws of the earth, He's the creator of physics. And so sometimes this is maybe a way in which He is speaking to us and in which you can get an understanding of what He's saying behind the words that He is saying. So another thing to look up when you're seeking understanding, wisdom, and knowledge is synonyms. So if we again go back to acceleration, the synonyms are quickness, haste, rapidness, swiftiness, expedient, and promptness. And so we want to kind of understand, okay, what are other words for this? And the next one is you want to look up antonyms. So the antonym for acceleration is lethargy, procrastination, slow, and stagnation. Why is this so important? Because if you get a word at the beginning of the year and it's something like acceleration, but you are seeing delay in almost every area of your life, you see things are moving slow, that is when you will war with that word. Lord, you said acceleration, and I'm seeing this, and I just decree and declare acceleration over our life. So it's a way in which you can identify, oh, wait, God said this, but the opposite is happening. I may need to ward the word or sit with the Lord on the word and asking him why is what he's saying not happening. It could be a timing thing or it could be something else going on. The next thing you can do is look the word up in the Blue Letter Bible. One of the reasons we look up synonyms is that you may not always find the word in the Blue Letter Bible, in the translation like the King James Version, but there are now, you can look up other translations in the Blue Letter Bible. So you have synonyms to actually look up. And when you're looking that up, you can also look up in different translations. You can also do a Google search of those words saying, where are acceleration in scripture? Or where is rapidness in scripture? Or rapid growth in scripture? Or, things of that nature. As you're doing that, ask the Lord to highlight scriptures to you because you might get multiple scriptures. So you want to ask the Lord to highlight key scriptures for you that you can reference and that you can go to. And when we got the word in 2017, the scripture that we got was Amos 9:13 through 15. And it says, things are going to happen so fast, your head will swim, one thing fast on the heels of the other. You won't be able to keep up. Everything will be happening at once, and everywhere you look, blessings, blessings like wine pouring off the mountains and hills. I'll make everything right again for my people Israel. They'll rebuild their ruined cities, they'll plant vineyards and drink good wine, they'll work their gardens and eat fresh vegetables, and I'll plant them on their own land, and they'll never again be uprooted from the land I've given them. So I think it's important to get a scripture because in here you will see God's process. And in there, God will also be speaking through the scriptures to you. And so again, this was the scripture that the prophet gave us in 2017 when she gave the word about acceleration. And that time, the word, I want to say it was the beginning of January. By the end of January, I had been laid off. By April, I had a job offer. By June, I had moved across the country to another state working for a whole different company. Things were moving fast. In addition, there was a change in direction. By January, I was in one direction, working at one company that I've been working for a long time, and my life just changed direction. When I look at this word, I go back and I'm like, yes, things move so fast, right? And there was changing. But then the word talks about blessings and blessings like wine pouring. That move became a blessing for me. It also talks about rebuilding the ruined cities, planting vineyards, work with their gardens, plant them and plant them on their own lands, and that they will be established. So they're rebuilding, they're planting and growing, so sowing things, and then they're actually being established. It just gives an idea of the process that God was taking them through, right? And again, he might speak through this to you. And so that's why I think it's very important to ask the Lord for a word, a scripture, highlight one, and to write that down as well. And that one scripture or scriptures you can always reference. The next part of seeking wisdom, knowledge, understanding is having a deeper conversation with the Lord. My teacher and trainer for prophetic processing, Michelle D. used to always say, a prophetic word is an invitation for a deeper conversation with the Lord. So you want to start having that conversation with the Lord. Some questions you can ask is, what area of my life is the word for? Is it work? Is it ministry? Is it school? Is it relationships? Lord, where are you giving me this word? Where will I see this word be activated in my life? What will this look like in my life? Is there a time and or season for this word? So if you're doing a word for the year, it would be for the year, but you could also ask, Lord, am I going to see this at the beginning of the year, middle of the year, end of the year? Is it a quarterly thing? Is the word conditional? Are there certain things I need to do to meet the conditions of the word? So these are just some of the questions. And also to note, when you're having conversations with the Lord, you want to make sure that you're sitting and listening. Like it's not just a one-sided you asking questions. So you want to sit, listen, journal, or just listen and record later what God is saying to you. So these are just some of the steps. Again, let me go through them one more time. It is to first judge your word. Second, you want to write it down. And third, you want to seek wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. If you have a word for the year, feel free to share it in the comment section. If you don't have a word for the year, I would recommend asking the Lord, what is a word he has for you for the remainder of this year? For the last 6 months of the year, what word does he have for you? Then start to go through some of these steps to get a better understanding of the word. So I hope this helps. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you and have a wonderful day.